Hello and welcome back to Hot to the Top. Hope you're all doing well today. First of all, just a quick apology for no videos over the weekend. I didn't really announce it either, which is obviously bad on my part, but I've just had a massively busy week essentially. Just a busy week at work, had some friends back in the hometown to just sort of see and things like that, some family stuff going on, so it's just been quite a busy full-on week and weekend really, so I've just had not a lot of time to record, and I've actually not played Football Manager since like Tuesday last week, and today is Monday as I record this. Usually I record things like a day or two in advance, but I'm actually recording this at 5:20. This comes out at 8 o'clock, so quick turnaround needed. Because of that, I've missed a fair few things, and I missed a bit of Patreon stuff as well. So a few of you have asked for regens renamed after you, but I've had not a lot of time to look at the Patreon things like that. So we'll get through that in tomorrow's episode when actually we've got a new intake coming through and I can sort of focus on it a little bit. But in the meantime, I do want to welcome two brand new Patreons to the channel. Harry Bunce and David Wilkstrom, thank you ever so much for your donations. They are massively appreciated, so thank you ever so much. And of course, if you are interested yourself in getting involved in the Patreon, then there's a link down in the description or on top of the screen right now. Plenty of perks for you to enjoy, so get yourself and have a quick look and see if there's anything you like. Of course, if there's nothing that you do like, let me know in the comment section something that you would like to see in the Patreon, because that would help me improve it for everyone. Anyway, in today's episode, we are playing Luzern in the Swiss Super League, and then we've got the Champions League first knockout round, where we've got arguably the hardest draw possible again, pretty much. We've got PSG coming up, which is going to be a very tough one. Last season, we lost to Barcelona in the first knockout round 10-2 on aggregate. Well, PSG are the team that beat Barcelona last season in the group stages, so we have got a tough situation on our hands. Of course, we are now in 2025. We played the winter break off camera and a few fixtures after the winter break as well, which I'll take you through in just a moment's time. But the first sort of big news you need to talk about is transfers. And obviously, at the end of last episode, we saw that Bottles was pretty much every club under the sun was interested in Matthew Bottles. We had Real Madrid and Watford interested in him like at the same time. That kind of shows the breadth of clubs that were interested in Matthew Bottles. He had a £20 million minimum fee release clause, and he wasn't willing to sign a new contract, which was really annoying, and it looked like he was going to be leaving the club. Now, I've not got screenshots of every news article, but I've got like the screenshots of a progression of news articles, so you can sort of see the headlines of what's happened. I'll put it up on the screen right now. Essentially, a couple clubs put low bids in for him of about £7 million. I instantly rejected all of those, and after months of not wanting to sign a new contract, I rejected those, and he says, if you're rejecting deals for me, then I need to have a new contract at the club. To which I was like, yes, 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 let's get a new contract for him very, very quickly before anyone else can put a bid in for him. So we put a contract offer in for him, and we just had to sort of wait. In the meantime, Watford came and triggered his minimum fee release clause, which was really, really scary actually, because I'm thinking, oh, we're losing Bottles now. No way is he going to accept a new contract here when Watford are on the table probably offering twice, 3 times as much as we can offer him. But the boy prevailed. He signed his new contract with us. Rather than going to Watford or like any other club that was interested in him, like Real Madrid, he's decided to stay at the club. And I'm very proud to tell you that Matthew Bottles, although is now on a lot of money, £30,000 per week, is here with no minimum fee release clause for the next 4 years. You love to see it. He's continued scoring plenty of goals. He's now got 26 goals in 23 league appearances, 30 goals in all competition, which is 29 starts and 2 substitute appearances. So he's doing pretty well this season, so I'm very pleased to have kept him at the club. As a result, we didn't really need to bring anyone in, and of course we are doing fantastically well this season. I didn't think we need to bring anyone in, so no one's been brought in, but we have sold Christian Fruchtel to Newcastle for £3.5 million. The goalkeeper was he wasn't being played essentially, out of form, and was the third best goalkeeper. I mean, it says here second, but that's because the scouts seem to think he's suddenly amazing again, but he's not. Lunin was better than him, and obviously we've got Kalas, who is the best goalkeeper around for us at the moment. So he was the third choice keeper, wasn't going to get game time, so thankfully we've got a nice bit of money for him after he's been sold to Newcastle. And looking at the fixture list, again, you can see we didn't need to make any signings in particular, because we've been pretty much perfect since you were last here for the Basel and Stade Rennais game. We finished off the first half of the season with a 4-1 demolition job of Toom, which was fantastic. Bottles, Coley, Dajaku and Schneider with the goals in that one. We then had winter break, playing a few friendlies with some decent results in there. But coming back after the winter break, a 4-2 win over Luzern with Smith and Bottles both picking up braces. A 1-0 win over St. Gallen with Bottles getting the goal in the 94th minute. A 1-1 draw with Young Boys was the only not winning game. That doesn't make sense. A 1-1 draw with the Young Boys was the only game we didn't win. That makes slightly more sense, as Bottles scored the goal in the 76th minute in that one. And then last time out, we beat our City rivals, Zurich 3-0, Lars Jacobs with 1 and Bottles with 2 right at the end in the 88th and 95th minutes. The table then, as you can see, is still looking ever so in our favour as we sit on top of it by 12 points ahead of Luzern, which is good going. We've got Lugano in the Swiss Cup coming up soon, but that's not really too interesting just yet. But PSG coming up later on in today's episode. This then is the team that we're going to use against Luzern today. Obviously, we want to get a big win against a team that are second in the table to really cement ourselves and give ourselves a good boost towards the title coming in the season. Beat Luzern today, we go 15 points clear at the top of the table, which is insane. So Class in goal as per usual with a backline of Gauther, Bajrami, Augusto and Cruz. Xhaka and Schneider in the middle. And we've got an attacking midfield today of Bernard, Alex Smith and Wirtz on the right-hand side because Willian did retire in the end. Didn't decide to reconsider. He has retired. So we are sort of changing positions around on that right-hand side. Obviously, Billy Schmitz is the man to come and replace him. However, he's just come back from an injury, so isn't quite match fit. And I don't really want to start him against second in the table. He can come on as a substitute, but I think having Wirtz there, we've got Coley on the bench who can also play there as well. So we can bring Coley on that right-hand side too, should we need to. And then, of course, the man himself, Matthew Bottles, with his new contract, leading the line for us. So kickoff is upon us here today. Hopefully a nice good win here, and we should, at this point, if we beat Luzern today, go 15 points clear at the top of the table. You'd imagine, surely at this point, we'll have the league table wrapped up and we don't need to really concentrate on the league too much. Now, obviously, as I said earlier, I've not been the most active in the past few days because I've been so busy. And that also means that I've not been replying to comments for the past few days as well. Just not really had any time. So apologies if I've not replied to your comment yet, because I try and get to every single comment. Well, I do get to every single comment, I think, pretty much. As far as I'm aware, at least, that's what I'm doing. But the past few days, there's probably like 100 comments that I've not replied to yet. So I will get round to replying to them all. It's just taking a little bit of time. But I do like having that interaction with you. I love talking to you guys in the comment section. So if you've never commented on a video before, comment what an idiot Felipe Cruz is. I'm not quite sure what he's just been sent off for then, but he's been sent off straight red, so it must have been quite a bad tackle. So we dropped down to 10 men. Obviously, in this kind of situation, Alex Smith always seems to take the hit. He's got to go back there. And in the meantime, we will bring on Neto. No, we can't bring Neto on there. Can anyone actually play at right back who's not on the... Okay. In that case, we're going to leave Alex Smith where he is. Gauther will come across into the middle, and Jordan Boone will come on for Gauther to have a 3-man defence like that. No wing back. I think we should still have enough about ourselves to get a result here today. We've been so good this season. Even we have dropped down to 10 men before, we have played really, really well. And in fact, on a couple of occasions, we've gone down to 10 men and we've actually gone on to win the game. So I've got every confidence for us to do that today, as Xhaka plays it back to Kalas in goal, who hoofs it up towards Bottles, who wins it down towards Alex Smith. Smith out to Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz coming forward, number 20. Come on, lad, get a good ball into the middle there. Gets it right down to the byline, puts it into Bernard, who hits the crossbar. Bottles collects the loose ball impressively, gets it back out to Wirtz, but unfortunately Luzern managed to get rid of it. But what good tenacity there from Wirtz to win the ball back into Bottles once again. Bottles still coming forward, is brought down, and we've won a free kick. Now that shows what work rate this team have got. That was incredible. Half time then, 0-0. Obviously, could be a lot better because we could be winning and have 11 men on the pitch. Obviously, we don't now, but we can still battle on and still try and get a result from today's game. As long as we don't lose, that's a positive result, I think. Florian Wirtz with a free kick in towards Augusto, who just misses the header. It goes all the way through there, but he does actually pick up the loose ball, gets it into Bernard, who can put it back across the box a little better, gets it onto the feet of Bottles, and Bottles, for his 31st goal of this season, what a player, puts it in the back of the net, and we have taken the lead today against Luzern. Great bit of play from Augusto there to keep the ball alive and win it back, and great cross as well to get it in there, and Bottles just sliding in there, puts it past the keeper. Nothing he could do about it. 1-0. And I've got to say, I am massively impressed by Florian. Maybe I'm not a good character or good judgment of football, I don't know, but I thought Florian Wirtz had played very well today, getting himself in some good positions and, some good work rate, but he's just said there he's on a 6.3 rating, which is the lowest out of all the teams, so maybe I'm just rubbish at judging footballers, as Augusto gets it clear, but only as far as Luzern players, and Kalas makes a class save. Randy Schneider on the ball coming forward, plays it in towards Bottles, tackled, and it goes out for a corner? Yeah, corner somehow. Either way, works to put the corner in. Go on, pop it on someone's head. Not that guy's head. Hopefully one of our players' heads. That's what I was hoping for as they managed to get the ball clear. But their number 16 is through, in behind the defence. Tight angle, gets it back to his number 3 who keeps with the ball. They still have possession, Luzern. Get it out wide. This is looking like a bit of a dangerous move, actually. But Bernard, huge from him. Right, 20 minutes to go in today's game. We are going to take off Florian Wirtz because I thought he played well, but obviously, according to the average ratings, not. So we're going to bring Billy Schmitz on. Not quite his debut. I think he's played one game, got a goal and an assist in it, which is pretty good going. So fair play, Billy Schmitz. Hopefully he can repeat that today. Also, with a little eye towards the PSG game, I want to take Randy Schneider off and bring Neto on to give Neto a little bit of match fitness. Luzern still coming forward in today's game, still looking to grab a goal towards the end of it. And actually, they have picked one up, and actually it is deserved. I've just seen the match stats, to be fair. 26 shots to 15 shots there. I didn't expect that. Obviously, Cruz being sent off does help them out massively, I suppose, with their trying to get forward and things like that. But I'm surprised, actually, they've had that many shots and not scored a goal yet. It just shows how good class has been and our defence has been in today's game. But they finally do manage to score themselves a goal, and it's back on level terms. Have we got enough time at the end of the game to just push forward, show some passion? Can we just grab one goal right at the very end to seal the win? We can't, unfortunately. But I've got to say, a 1-1 draw against the second best team in the league when we're down to 10 men is good going still. I'll take it. Still 12 points clear of Luzern. Obviously, the season is closing down now. Not all that long to go. 12 games left. They're not going to make up that many points and overtake us, surely, in that time. So not too long before the PSG game. And before we get to the PSG game, I want to talk about European coefficient points. So currently, according to coefficient points, we are 5th in European rankings, just ahead of France. That's how it finished last season. But currently, at the moment, for next season, we are going to have 59.25 points, whereas France will have 63.167 points. So they will go back ahead of us next season if the season finished right now, which means we would drop back down to 6th place rather than being in 5th place. Now, whilst one place doesn't really seem to make that much of a difference, if we look at qualification places, you can see that we get less Europa League places than we currently do. We have more Europa Conference League places than Europa League places. You get what I'm trying to say. We get more teams qualifying for higher ranked competitions in 5th place than we do in 6th place. Now, the reason that France are ahead of us once again, or at least as it stands right now, is because 6 teams qualified from France last season for European competitions, and all 6 of them have managed to get themselves into their respective European knockout stages, whereas the Swiss teams that qualified, only us, Basel and Young Boys have qualified for the later stages. We've also got to the Champions League, and then Basel came 3rd in their group. They're in the Europa League, and Young Boys got through their Europa League group. Luzern, Thun and St. Gallen, that's the other one, they all got knocked out of their group and finished bottom, so they couldn't qualify for a lower competition. So they're all out. Only 3 teams have qualified from Switzerland, so already we're at a massive disadvantage there. And just because of sheer numbers, essentially, I'm anticipating us to actually drop down next season to 6th rather than stay in 5th position. So we will have slightly less preferential European qualification places next season, which is a little bit disappointing, but we will still have 6 teams entering European football at the start of the season, so that's still quite good. Obviously, though, we are playing PSG, and yes, we will probably get battered, but it does make it a bit more competitive, thinking that if we beat PSG, that's going to help out the Swiss coefficient so much. Now, in order to do our best to try and beat PSG, we're going to go for a different formation that I don't think we've actually gone for before in the Grasshopper save, and that is a 5-3-2 formation that I think offers lots of defensive capabilities for us, but hopefully a nice attacking outlet as well, which we maybe could use to try and score a goal in the game somehow. So what that means is we have some slightly different players on the pitch. We've got Klaas in goal as per usual, joined by Bajrami and Augusto, but Afonso comes into that centre-back line as well. Boone can play wing-back relatively well, so he stays in that left wing-back role with Cruz on the other side. Neto, the player on loan from Benfica, comes in as that deep-line playmaker, with Xhaka as the ball-winning midfielder and Lars Jacobs as the box-to-box midfielder, because if we look down here, Randy Schneider is currently suspended. I think I probably forgot to mention it earlier, but Sterigu is injured as well. He's out for another 2 weeks or so that's why he didn't feature in today's episode at all. And then, of course, leading the line, we have got Matthew Bottles backed up by Coley. So fingers crossed, That is a winning formula for us against PSG. So kickoff is upon us. We've got the home leg coming up first against PSG, and Felipe Cruz's corner free kick comes in with pace. Cleared though, and this guy, Fabio Silva for PSG, ran the whole length of the pitch and nearly scored a goal. So that's the kind of danger that we are going to be seeing from PSG, who still have Neymar in their ranks. He must be getting on quite a bit now. We'll see. It must be like in his mid-30s by this point in the game, 2025 maybe. He's early 30s, maybe not quite mid-30s. Boone seems to find a bit of space to come forward, shoots in the end and forces the corner. Already looks pretty fiery so far in today's game as the corner goes all the way through and no one gets on the end of it. Corner then coming in for PSG at the other end of the pitch. Augusto clears it to Kimpembe, gets all the way out to Tomori, into the number 17, Fabio Silva, who we've already identified as the danger man, just gets on the end of the cross, putting it in the back of the net. 1-0 PSG. So this does highlight just how much we do have to progress still, as they've put it in the back of a net again. I think there must be something going on there. My assistant manager isn't moving. It's going to VAR. I assume it's going to be offside. Okay, so we're still in it slightly, but obviously it could be a tough one, this. Neymar with a free kick, which is just put in the back of a net like that. I mean, he may be in his mid-30s by this point, Neymar, but he's still got a wicked free kick on him, and already 22 minutes into today's game, that should not go in the back of a net, really, should it at all? That should not go in the back of a net, but it has done. Have we just picked the wrong formation? Have I just done this formation for nothing? Like, all we've done is invite pressure. Maybe in the second half we switch it up then. Maybe in the second half we switch it up and Neto has just got himself sent off. Why have we got no discipline? I don't even have things like tackle hard on. I have nothing like that turned on. They're just bad tacklers, all of them. In that case, let's just go back to this and see what we can do. All right, we can put Coley there, Xhaka there. Afonso's going to have to come off the pitch for someone. Jerome, that's the one. Jerome Bernard, he can come on the pitch instead. We'll just switch back to this. We'll go positive rather than just attacking. Let's go for this. See what we can do. I mean, yeah, we conceded 2, but defensively it's not been that bad. Only 9 shots of PSG in that first half. When you consider that last game, who was it? Luzern had 26, 27 shots. Like, that's pretty good going, I've got to say. As Bottles finds a bit of space to come forward on the ball. Oh, nearly goes all the way himself. And to be fair, we've had some good chances like that. We just haven't been able to take them. That's part of the issue. As Neymar lines up another free kick, and it's put in the back of a net by another player. 3-0 down. Although this season is going swimmingly for us in the league, we're dominating in the league, it's going to take a long time to be able to get anywhere in the Champions League sort of thing. It's going to take a long time. PSG, I don't think they've actually won it yet in game, but they'll do it at some point soon because they always do in every FM game. They are such a good side. As Coley coming forward, can we grab a consolation? Not quite because he gets tackled there. You hate to see that. Neymar back on the ball coming forward. Augusto with a nice interception there. Felipe Cruz has picked up a knock apparently. Gets the ball forward to Coley. Coley to put it in the middle. Gets cleared by Dembele and only goes as far as Bajrami. The highlight continue. Are we actually going to see a goal score? Because that'd be quite impressive to see us score a goal at this point. As Bajrami into Xhaka. Bernard on the ball. Back to Bajrami. Up towards Boone. Boone coming forward. Let's grab a goal. Bottles is there. Over the bar. It was on a plate for him. And he didn't deliver. You know what, I'm actually quite pleased with how we have responded in the second half because we've now had 6 shots and we had 1 shot in the first half. So maybe we just go for our usual formation against PSG away from home, which sounds counterintuitive, but when we're 3-0 down, we may as well try and go all-out attack to try and get something out of it. Defensively didn't work, and Bottles has actually picked a goal back there, his 32nd of the season, which is great. And you love to see that. He picks the ball out the back of the net to run back to the centre circle with it to try and grab another one before full time. I mean, a 2-goal deficit isn't undoable, obviously, but they've got 3 away goals, which are going to make it a lot harder for us. So, ideally, we have to win the tie outright rather than trying to rely on away goals ourselves. So, we're still in a good position, although PSG coming forward to look to try and make it 4. Dembele nearly does make it 4, and we just about get the ball clear there, which is fantastic. Well done defensively there, because that obviously would have taken the wind out ourselves a bit there. As Bottles has been put forward on the counter-attack, loses possession though, unfortunately, and Neymar coming back at us a little bit, although we have forced it back to their keeper under pressure. Tomori on the ball. They're coming back at us a little bit, PSG. Could there be a bit of a late flurry in the game for us, I've got to say, although it might be for PSG as they come back at us and... Okay, we're not back in the tie, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that's how the game ends. It's 4-1 on the night, 4 away goals for PSG. I don't think we can score 4 in Paris, if I'm honest with you. I don't think we can quite score 4 in Paris without reply. We'll give it a go. It's going to be tough, though. In the meantime, Swiss European hopes go from bad to worse because Basel have just been knocked out of the Europa League by West Ham in the first knockout round. Luckily, young boys have progressed against Valencia, so if anyone's going to do anything in Europe this season, it's young boys. So fingers crossed young boys get themselves to another final. They got to the final of the Conference League last season, lost it unfortunately to, I think it was Besiktas or something like that. Hopefully they can do the same again, win the Europa League. That would be pretty good for Swiss football, so I'm kind of hoping that they do well in that. Next episode isn't going to be far away because we've got the PSG game, and then we'll do either Sion or Luzern. I'm not quite sure which one yet because it is going to depend on when the youth intake comes through, because obviously we want to be seeing that in an episode, and it sort of comes around this time of the season, so whenever it sort of comes, we'll play whichever game's closest. Either way, thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have done, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Hot to the Top. So have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.